What really happened on the cross?
I'll find out.
Somebody tell me, what really happened on the cross? Yeah.
Our wrath was on him, and the Father crushed him.
God's wrath that should have been poured out on us was on him. God didn't crush him. What's another word? He bruised him. What else happened on the cross? Turn to Psalm 22.
Forsaken by God.
What does the very first verse say?
My God, why have you forsaken me?
What's the answer to that question?
Which verse?
I'm sorry?
One.
Which is the verse?
Psalm 22.
Isaiah 53:5. Isaiah 53:5.
53:5. Yeah, but it's also in this passage. What's the answer to the question, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
He became sick.
What's that?
He became sick.
Okay. Look at verse 3. There's the answer. God is holy. And Jesus is covered with past, present, and future sin of mankind. He bears on him the weight of all of the contamination of creation. So, Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 13 says, thou art of too pure for eyes to look upon iniquity. God cannot look upon iniquity. How long did the Father turn his face away?
That moment,
What's that?
that particular moment.
3 hours. 3, yeah.
What?
Until 3 hours.
3 hours.
Until the blood was
When there
offered
was
in the
darkness
heavenly
over there.
mercies.
Until he said it's finished.
A lot of answers. Who's right?
No one.
I didn't say anything. What was the cost that was essential for your and my salvation? The Father had to make Jesus to be sin. Not a sinner, but a sin. Now, on that premise, what did he do for us? The Father looked away. For how long? Well, for Jesus, it seemed like an eternity, but only briefly. Only briefly. How do you know it's only briefly, Dwight? Because Jesus starts talking to God again. Doesn't he? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. It is finished. It's only a brief time that the Father looks away. Right? Now, what happened on the cross? Not only was the Father lashing out on the Son, and not only was he appeased by the Son, look what it says in that same passage. In verse number 12. Many bulls have compassed me, strong bulls of Bashan have beset me about. Anybody know what that's about? What that's talking about? Nope. Demons. Demons. Bashan was a city that had these 13 massive bulls. I mean, they're one of the 8 wonders of the ancient world, these bulls. And they lined the main street that led to the city. And there's difference in speculation, but some say they were only, the smallest they were 25 feet high, and each one of them was about 14 feet wide. And they represented the demon gods that the Bashanites trusted in. 13 of them that lined on both sides of them, and you'd walk by them, and the sun never shone in the corridor that was between them. They overshadowed the sun. Okay, these huge things, and they were ghastly looking. They were horrible looking, and they were demonic, and they were believed to be the worst of hell's demons. 13 on each side, and they looked down menacingly, and they were carved so that were drooling blood. And so this inference that David is talking about, David never was in Bashan, but he says that the strong bulls, many bulls of Bashan, have beset about me. Satan finally had God where he wanted him. He said, God is flesh, so I can kill him. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Someone read verses 6 through 8. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 6 through 8.
Albeit we keep wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor the princes of this world that come to naught. For we speak of the wisdom of God and the mystery and the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world into our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they known, they would not have crucified the Lord glory.
Notice that. Satan thought, I've got him, I can kill him, but he didn't know. That was God's plan all along. God's plan all along was to give Jesus, his son, flesh, so that the flesh could be put to death. That's what happened at the cross. And Satan says, I got him. Now, Satan thought that using his tool of sin, he could destroy by death imprison in hell anything and anyone who was a descendant of Adam. That's what he thought. But what was different about Jesus?
He was God. He was divinity.
1 Corinthians chapter 15. Somebody read verse 45. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45.
So it is written, the first man Adam became a living soul, the last Adam, a life-giving spirit.
Notice that. Read it again, please.
And so it is written, the first man Adam became a living soul, the last Adam was a life-giving spirit.
We got two Adams here. And why the term Adam? What does Adam mean? Man, basically. The first man, the one who committed high treason against heaven, was a living soul. But the second Adam, the second man, made souls live. So, Satan says, flesh. I got the first Adam, I can get the second Adam. Let's look at the comparison in Hebrews chapter 2. Hebrews chapter 2. Let's look at the comparison. Starting at verse 6. Somebody read from 6 all the way down to verse number 11. Read, Happy.
But one in a certain place testified, saying, What is man, that thou art mindful of him? Or the son of man, that thou visitest him? Thou madest him a little lower than the angels. Thou crownest him with the glory and honor, and didst set him over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet. For in that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him.
Okay, let's look at this first Adam. It says he's been made a little lower than the angels. The word angels there is a bad translation because in Hebrew, in Psalms, the word is actually, anybody know? Elohim. And the Jewish translators were afraid to say, you made him a little lower than God. So he said, a little lower than the heavenly beings. So that's the way the Septuagint reads, the heavenly beings. So when we got the Septuagint, when the scholars under King James wanted to translate the Bible, they said heavenly beings must be angels. But the Hebrew word is actually Elohim. Thou hast made him a little lower than God. All right? Now, go on. I'm sorry. What else?
But we see Jesus.
No, I'm sorry. Go back to verse number 7.
Thou madest him a little lower than the angels. Thou crownest him with the glory and honor.
Notice, a little lower than the angels, crowned him with glory and honor. Go on.